My name is Frank Sasinowski, and I am a board member of IndoUSrare. And I've been involved with looking at therapies to help patients with rare diseases since the Orphan Drug Act was enacted in 1983. It was my research when I was at the FDA that led to the 1984 and the 1985 amendments that made the law work. And then I was asked to write the implementing regulations. So I've been involved with this world of rare diseases and patients that are afflicted with rare diseases since the very beginning. So my experience started off, with being a FDA official who was responsible for helping to navigate and implement the original Orphan Drug Act so that it got started. But later, it came about that just by coincidence that I had a son who then developed a rare disease, Tourette's. And then I had myself a rare cancer, which shows the prevalence of rare diseases, that it's nearly impossible for any of us to not know a person who is affected with a rare disease. However, the individual rare diseases, there are 11,000 of them, are so numerous that we do not know individuals with any one particular rare disease, but we certainly all know someone with a rare disease. The world of rare diseases has been something I've been involved with since 1983. And because of this long perspective, I have the opportunity to share with you how I see the landscape has changed over time. Back in 1983, in the mid-1980s, there was virtually no research being done on any rare disease. And with the creation of the Orphan Drug Act and with its implementing regulations, there were incentives then for academics like Dr. Priya Krishnani, who got an Abby Myers Award at this Bridging Summit, and other in academia to conduct research, and also for the biotech industry to invest and to conduct research. And so that was a very kind of nascent time where research in rare diseases was just beginning. Now, I think that the FDA boasts that about half of all the new chemical entities, that is the new drugs that are approved each year for any patient with a prevalent disease or a rare disease, about half of them are for rare diseases. It's spectacular to see this change, that when I first began, there was nothing being done for people with rare diseases. And today, half of all the new drugs that the FDA approves each year are for the rare disease community, for patients with rare diseases. It's a spectacular change, and we need much more, but it's worthwhile to pause and notice for a second of how much progress has been made over the last 42 years. Now we come with IndoUSrare to a situation in which we're trying to now bring together patients from across the globe so that we can be unified. Alone, each one of us is weak, but together, each of us contributes to a strong kind of ecosystem that allows innovation to emerge and allows patients to find access to new therapies. So I had been on the board of the National Organization for Rare Diseases, been its chairman and vice chairman for 16 years. And then when I stepped down from that role, because the bylaws demanded that I step down, I then became the chair or vice chair for the last 9 years of the EveryLife Foundation for Rare Diseases. These are the two largest US-based rare disease patient organizations. But when Harsha Rajasima founded IndoUSrare a number of years ago, he asked me if I would join the board and help And I was only honored and too happy to help Harsha in this endeavor. So what Harsha is attempting to do is to bring in those who have rare diseases on the Indian subcontinent, as well as in the Indian diaspora, which together makes up 15% of the world's population. So we are trying to use the Indian diaspora and the Indian population as almost a model for how we can bring together across the globe patients with rare diseases, unifying them into a network that will allow us to harness and move forward with all of the energy and vitality that can be mustered globally. So at this year's Bridging Rare Summit, I'm about to have a fireside chat with John Crowley. John Crowley is the head of BIO, which is the US, and I think the largest in the world, organization representing the biotech industry. John got started in this world of rare diseases in a way that's very common and might be common to you. That is that he had two children, Megan and Patrick, who were born with a rare disease, Pompe. If you were here at the Bridging Rare Summit, you would have seen that I had the honor on Sunday night of presenting an Abby Myers-Cauchy Award to Dr. Priya Krishnani from Duke University, who got her award for all the pioneering work she had done on Pompe disease, the very disease that Megan and Patrick Crowley, John Crowley's two children, suffered from. And it was Priya Krishnani and her work, along with John Crowley, who left his job, started a drug company in order to develop the drug that Priya Krishnani, the enzyme replacement therapy that she was developing at Duke University. And they were successful. And his two children, Megan and Patrick, are now on that drug and probably are alive today because of the drug that Priya Krishnani at Duke and John Crowley, leaving his job and starting a drug company, and he knew nothing about pharmaceuticals. But what I'm doing by calling attention to John and Priya is saying that you too, like them, can do whatever you can in the place where you are to contribute to alleviating the suffering of our sisters and brothers who have rare diseases. It doesn't have to be spectacular like John Crowley leaving his job to form a drug company, or like Priya Krishnani being a world-class researcher and finding an enzyme replacement therapy for a fatal rare disease. Whatever it is that circumstances have landed you, wherever you are, you can make a huge difference just by addressing rare diseases in whatever way is in front of you, by contributing your time and talent and treasure, by participating in things like I just participated in a walk for Guillain-Barré syndrome. And so when you have a bake sale or a walk or some fundraiser for a rare disease, any rare disease that you can participate in, think about putting your body in that position. Think about trying to support legislation in whatever part of the world you are that will further advance the cause of patients who have rare diseases. So think locally, but your actions locally will have an impact globally. Just trust that whatever you do in the microenvironment of wherever you live, and however ordinary and simple it might seem, trust me, it's not. You will make a huge difference. So in terms of this Indo-US Rare driving innovation in the rare disease field, I think we can hope that Indo-US Rare, those of us who contribute to it, hope that Indo-US Rare will be not only an organization that will bridge people across the globe who are affected with rare diseases, but will be a model for other organizations that can also bring together their communities across the globe. And so as we emerge from 1983, when all of this attention on rare diseases began 42 years ago, and we look at where we are today, that we're now mature enough that we're trying to cross borders and trying to have collaborations that will affect the ecosystem for rare disease communities across the globe. And we hope that we at Indo-US Rare are working to achieve that, and we're looking forward to you joining us in those efforts and contributing. Thank you.